even a year later. So, I kind of told you the whole story, but let's jump back a little. By all accounts, 14-year-old Noah was an exceptional young man. As a Year 10 student at the Catholic St. Malachi's College in Belfast, Noah enjoyed athletics, academics, and music. He was well liked by his classmates, his coaches, and his teachers. Noah played the cello, received high marks. He swam, he played baseball and rugby. After his death, his coaches reflected on his innate ability to have fun, exhibit good sportsmanship, and laugh on the pitch. And Noah's teachers remembered him as a measured, modest student. During his time at St. Malachi's, Noah received many accolades, including a Spirit of the College award. Growing up as an only child in a single-parent household, Noah's bond with his mother, Fiona, was incredible and profound. Fiona recalls telling her son that he would grow up and change the world. Noah's father, Senegal native Emmanuel Dipaka, so many names, so hard to pronounce, also enjoyed a loving relationship with his son, albeit never in person. Emmanuel met Fiona in Boston, where they had a brief romantic relationship. When Fiona returned to Northern Ireland, Emmanuel stayed in his adopted U.S. homeland. Emmanuel, too, has suffered from the significant loss of his child. Emmanuel experienced his own tragedy after a 2018 shooting in downtown Boston left him clinging to life. He communicated with his son Noah through Skype and over the phone throughout Noah's formative years. Noah was well-rounded. He held a close and loving relationship with his relatives, and he wasn't known for any bouts of depression or experimentation with drugs and alcohol. And I mention this because I feel like it's relevant to this story, because you have to wonder what transpired in the 30 minutes before his disappearance that led to his death. How did Noah divert from his course to Cave Hill and end up on the other side of town? And as more information comes out about this case, even more questions remain. Thanks to excellent coverage of CCTV footage, which I feel like they have more of that overseas than they do here in the United States. Like, your CCTV footage in the UK is excellent compared to what we see here, I think. Like the CCTV footage of the burglary that my sister and brother experienced was so blurry, there was no way that guy was ever going to be caught, and he hasn't. But some of this footage is so clear, it's just amazing. Like, why do we have different technology? Anyway, sorry, side note. Okay. Noah's last evening unfolds via CCTV footage and eyewitness accounts, but his actions remain inexplicable. So, at 5:41 p.m., video shows Noah leaving his house and cycling toward Belfast city centre. 7 minutes elapse before Noah is seen again. At 5:49 p.m., he bikes through Victoria Square. At 5:50, 18 minutes before he is last seen alive, he hits the corner of Street and Royal Avenue. He still shows no sign of distress, and he is still fully clothed. At 5:53 p.m., Noah passes the Art College of Ulster University without his backpack. is Noah taking a small tumble from his bike. She does watch him climb back on it without an issue, and she did not stop to check on him. She came forward with this information shortly after Noah is reported missing. At 6:02 p.m., 8 short minutes before Noah disappears, he rides into the Northwood Road estate, a gated community, without his backpack or his North Face jacket. Again, it is unclear where Noah left his jacket and why. The last live sighting of Noah occurs at 6:08 p.m. Noah cycles past 85 Northwood Road without any clothes on. In just 6 minutes, he has shed what remains of his clothes, none of which are located afterwards. Resident Linda Patterson spots him. She, in fact, called for her husband, but by the time she turned back to the window, Noah was gone. Patterson later states that Noah didn't appear to be in any distress. He was just nude. This is the last account of Noah's journey on that Sunday. At 8 p.m. on Sunday, Northwood resident Karen Crooks discovers Noah's Apollo mountain bike in her front yard. She assumes that it belongs to neighborhood boys, and she leaves it until the next evening. When she hears of Noah's disappearance, she calls the police, and the PSNI later confirms that this bike is Noah's. 3 days after Noah's disappearance, Daryl Paul, a career criminal with over 194 arrests, attempts to pawn Noah's backpack, laptop, and books. The pawn shop declines this purchase and, in fact, phones the police. Paul claimed to have found Noah's backpack propped up against the building at Ulster University. Although CCTV footage later confirms Paul's claims, he is arrested on theft and attempt to sell stolen goods charges, and as far as I could tell, currently still sits in a Belfast jail. In the days following Noah's disappearance, hundreds of mourners attend a vigil led by his family and Relatives for Justice, an organization assisting the Donohoes. The family releases hundreds of black and green balloons, St. Malachi's school colors, and they play a song called Forever Young by Rod Stewart, which I thought was kind of strange because that's sort of an old song, and this is a recent case. And Noah was only 14, but they said it was one of his favorite songs. Hope for finding Noah alive is snuffed out. After 6 days of searching, on Saturday, June 27th, 2020, the nude body of Noah Donohoe is found in a cavernous, unlocked storm drain behind Northwood Road. Before performing an autopsy, the PSNI publicly ruled out foul play. The autopsy revealed no sign of struggle, no traumatic brain injury, and a clean toxicology report. The Belfast coroner Joe Miscrickskin determined the time of death as the evening of June 21st, 2020. Noah's official cause of death: drowning. Loyalist and Sinn Féin officials denounce rumors on social media of the Loyalist involvement in Noah's death, and Sinn Féin's Michelle O'Neill has emerged as a fierce advocate for Noah's family. While Belfast has experienced a recent flare-up in sectarian violence last summer, there's no evidence to support claims that Loyalists were involved in the teen's death. So I didn't really get into that much because there was no evidence to support So I gotta wonder, why would police rule out foul play before the autopsy? How could a seemingly healthy, happy, well-rounded kid just strip completely nude in the course of a half an hour and drown himself miles from home? How did a frequently inspected storm drain just miraculously become unlocked? It is absolutely crazy to me that there were no signs of physical assault, but it is a small comfort to his family, mourning the tragic end of a promising young life. With no real leads in the cause of Noah's quick demise, a myriad of questions abound. Hopefully, the next year can shed some light on what led Noah to that storm drain and allow his family some closure. If anyone has any information about Noah Donohoe's death, please contact Relatives for Justice at info@relativesforjustice.com, which I will link in the description box down below. Now, as I said, I know this was a shorter case because I feel like complete boo-boo right now, but it was still kind of a crazy one. I held on to it hoping that some more information would come out. I think it's just completely bizarre that he had these plans and then really something had to have happened to him in the 10 minutes that he is not caught on CCTV footage. But I don't know what. Why were his clothes never found? That literally makes no sense to me unless someone took them. I mean, kids are kids, right? So maybe someone dared him to streak on his bike, but I feel like if he had a jacket and a hoodie on, it was kind of cold. I don't know. They said it was muggy in June, but I don't know. Someone who lives in Ireland, chime in. What's the weather like in June? So maybe it was kind of a prank, but then why was he in the storm drain? Okay. When I was a kid, there were a lot of storm drains in the area where I lived, and one of them was ridiculously huge, and it led in this culmination of rainwater that ended up being like a pond, and it was very close to my house, and we used to swim in it all the time. And one day we were really bored, so we really followed this drain to the end, where you would have to crawl, you could walk through this standing up. So we spent a lot of time kind of in the mouth of the drain and in the pond there. I do remember getting in trouble or getting yelled at, but I don't recall exactly by who, because they told us it was quite dangerous to do that, which I could understand. If it was raining, the water could be quite dangerous, but there wasn't really anywhere for us to get swept away to, but I guess something could have happened and we could have drowned. We weren't really diving into the pond, so maybe it was something like that, where they were just kind of playing in the storm drain and something happened to Noah and his friends just ran. But I feel like at this point, I mean, they're young kids, so somebody would have cracked, I think, or someone's parents would have found his Nike shoes with the yellow swoop or the North Face jacket. None of this stuff was ever recovered. Where is it? That to me speaks really highly of foul play. I mentioned that he didn't have a traumatic brain injury because, that could have, preempted this streaking and drowning. I couldn't find anything that said if he knew how to swim. I feel like that's a vital fact that we needed to know, but it really wasn't out there. Anyway, I'm curious to know what you guys think of this case. Tell me what your theories are, if you've ever heard of it, if you've seen the CCTV footage. What do you think happened to Noah in those 10 minutes where he doesn't appear on film? Or do you think something happened prior and he wasn't telling the truth when he said he was headed to the park? I'm curious to know what you think. You guys come up with the best theories. If you are still listening at this point and you haven't fallen asleep